All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the SkinCoin WCA third place match here between two great teams going at it. Effect versus Team Kinguin here in a best of three. That is right. It's our final match of what is the European/CIS region here for this event. We already know the two teams going to the LAN. They actually played a couple of days ago, played on Saturday there. That, of course, being Empire and Hellraisers. Ultimately, Hellraisers actually winning that best of five series there, taking home their share of the prize pool. Both of those teams going on, though, we need to figure out which of these two teams is going to be taking home their share of what approximately is about a $7,500 prize pool on the line. Winner takes all in this match specifically. So getting to this point, it's been quite the grind. It would suck to leave with nothing, but unfortunately for one of these teams, that will be the case. So looking forward to a good best of three, though. Again, Effect versus Kinguin here for the SkinCoin WCA third place matchup. With that said, I'm BreakyCPK and going to be joined by my co-caster today, RobnrollGaming. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Taking the weekend off, just to do some proper work, but it feels good to be getting back into the Dota as well. Yeah,
been a couple of this has been a crazy grind. I've happened to cast pretty much this whole event here. Started about 2 weeks ago, so only had a couple of days break in between. But knowing that it's coming to a conclusion here, almost sad because it's been a very entertaining event. But I'm sure we'll get a fun best of three to kind of finish it off between obviously two solid teams in Effect versus Kinguin here. And in fact, we got a draft underway, so let's start getting into it. We got Batrider into what is a Faceless Void Rubik on the other side, and then Lich coming out with the second pick for Kinguin. So what do we think about the draft so far here, Rob?
I like the Rubik pickup. It just denies the pickup for Team Kinguin. If that's what they wanted to go for, to maybe deal with the Faceless Void, you've got the Lich there that's going to be able to throw out the spells that are going to be stolen by Rubik. Even the Frost Armor, the Chain Frost is going to be great for the Rubik to pick up, just for the team fight potential. It also denies the Batrider once he gets that lasso off, if you can get the telekinesis to keep him stationary while he's trying to drag anyone away, or you steal the lasso yourself. So I like the Rubik pickup. The Faceless Void is a standard pickup. We've been seeing that position 1 Faceless Void. Been seeing it for a few weeks now. It's coming back into popularity. Really effective, again, in the team fights if you can get heroes that stand on the edge of the Chronosphere, like the Witch Doctor, the Rubik with the Fable. You can get heroes that, like the Earthshaker that was actually banned out by Effect, that throws the Fisher through, or the Sand King gets the epicenter, dives into that. But the Batrider and the Lich, two solid pickups. Obviously the Batrider being able to initiate ganks, drag heroes back, the Lich with the sacrifice, as well as the Chain Frost, the Frost Armor, which is so strong, being able to put it on buildings at the moment. The Scarith Mage being picked up now as well. Goes great with the Faceless Void again, what I was speaking of. You use the Mystic Flare over the Chronosphere, lockdown heroes. 2 heroes caught in the Mystic Flare are going to be taking a hell of a lot of damage. 1 hero caught in that Mystic Flare is probably going to not be coming out of that Chronosphere. It's just going to be completely wiped out if Effect can get the timings right.
Yeah, it's good for absolutely securing at least that 1 kill as you're getting at right there. So Scarith Mage is very interesting, though. It's on paper that kind of makes sense right there with that synergy at least, but definitely not a popular support that we see all too much. In fact, I want to say we only saw once through all of these matches here what has been the SkinCoin WCA these last couple of weeks at least for this European region. So it's a pretty unique hero.
Yeah, it's more that teams now are starting to draft, like I said, this Roman position 4, your Night Stalkers, your Spirit Breaker, your Roman Clockworker, Shaker, Marana, Nyx Assassin, heroes like that. So at the moment, Effect have these kind of 2 heroes, and Scarith doesn't really fit into that position 5 babysitting role. He wants to be getting at least a little bit of gold, not a lot, but just that little bit of boost. So Rubik and Scarith are probably going to be splitting this 4.5 position. Just sharing the load, it looks like, to try and share the items, because again, Rubik, not really, when you think of position 5 heroes, not really a hero you think of because he wants the Blink Dagger, maybe the Aghanims, none of them really build the Medallion, the Solar Crest, or the Urn, and so like I say, it's going to be a bit of a split farm, and Tusk is more of this standard position 4 role that does build the Solar Crest, gets a little bit of a power spike, maybe when he builds a Shadow Blade, usually buys the dust, carries the Urn, he's got all these kind of utility items the Roman hero is going to standardly buy and look towards building. So that is more of a key position 4 that we're used to seeing at the moment. But yeah, the Rubik Scarith Mage, if they can make it work, with the Pugna as well. Again, great for the drop in the Nether Ward, the blast as well inside the Chronosphere, being able to push the towers.
Yeah.
The life drain. It's not a standard lineup, but they are starting to build around this Faceless Void. And if they can get the team fights down, if they can make space for the Pugna, if the Scarith Mage and the Rubik can find a little bit of fun, there's no reason why this shouldn't come off for effect.
Anti-Mage.
Got an Anti-Mage. And that 4th pick spot for Team Kinguin. That go with a Tusk, as you mentioned. As likely to play, of course, that roaming hero himself in that 4th spot. But Anti-Mage coming out. You look at the lockdown possibility from the Radiant side of what is effect here. Outside of the Chronosphere for the hard lockdown, they really don't have a lot to work with, so you got to think that's perhaps one of the reasons. Of course, that on top of his passive is probably going to be pretty good this game as well. So does this make sense, the Anti-Mage pick, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The Pugna, the Scarith, going to be absolutely burning through mana, so being able to use that Mana Void onto the Scarith Mage, it's probably going to have nearly 1.5 times the mana towards health. You know, if you can get that towards the edge of the fight, I think that Faceless Void does need to target down the Anti-Mage in team fights. Or maybe, you know, Effect needs to maybe look towards an aggressive tri-lane, look to shutting down that Anti-Mage before he can even get off the ground. So yeah, Anti-Mage, a really good pickup, because 3 of the 4 heroes picked up by Effect already are very mana-heavy heroes. So yeah, I really like this Anti-Mage pickup.
You know, I'm actually looking back here, and I'm being reminded that Kinguin, in effect, did play in the group stages of this event. It ended up being a 3-game series that went 2-1 in favor of Kinguin there. The first game was won by Effect, though, and guess what? They actually ran a Faceless Void paired up also with a Skywrath Mage in that support role. So they have kind of done this idea before, and that was the game that I do remember that we had from earlier on the event. So, again, this is a team that at least they've played it before. With a hero like the Skywrath Mage. So outside of that, it was pretty different. Well, they did have a Magnus, and I am kind of wondering if a Magnus final pick could be possible here for Effect as a possible offlaner, you know, Faceless Void and safe lane, and then that would leave Pugna for the mid lane itself. But could be a strong finish, I would think so.
Yeah, it absolutely could work again if you can get that the reverse polarity off on top of the Chronosphere. It just groups all the heroes up then to throw out this combo, to be able to throw out this just immaculate amount of burst damage and magic damage coming out from the side of Effect.
Team pick.
Queen of Pain. Keeping it pretty standard here with a final pick, Queen of Pain from Team Kinguin. Now Effect has to figure out that final pick.
Yeah, Queen of Pain goes well against the Faceless Void. He drops the Chronosphere. If the Queen of Pain's not inside it, the Faceless Void does need to be careful of the Sonic Wave coming across. LC is another good hero that goes with the Scarith Mage. Just both heroes pairing with the ultimates, being able to throw out the duel and then the Mystic Flare over the top again, the Pugna there as well with the Nether Blast. But the Queen of Pain does disrupt this slightly just because she can stand away, throw out the Scream of Pain, the Sonic Wave, and it just does so much nuke damage that the Pugna is going to have a very hard time, I think, in the early game in this mid lane, if this is going to be a mid lane Pugna up against the Queen of Pain.
Well, with who's playing it, Afo9, Jaffa Ninja, however you want to say it, he is playing, he is usually their mid player, so I would assume that is going to be the case with Pugna mid, again, Mag in that off lane Legion Commander, and of course Sidoi and the Faceless Void within that safe lane here. So, yeah, this lineup does seem all about the idea of, though, we're going to find someone, and if we find somebody, especially with the duel, the Chronosphere, whatever it may be, I mean, they're dying as long as a couple of teammates are nearby, at least specifically that Skywrath Mage once again, with the Mystic Flare and what that can do with those solo kills. So that seems to be the theme of the lineup, at least, for this Dire, or the Radiant side, at least, for them. But Dire team, I mean, I look at the Dire team, and overall it does feel like a well put together lineup. Their team fight is also pretty strong. They got both the Sonic Wave as well as Chain Frost is definitely going to be a valuable tool for that, and one that scales well into the late game on top of it all. So Kinguin's lineup seems like a pretty strong draft to me.
Yeah, again, Katso sitting in the mid lane with the Queen of Pain, being able to throw out these Ice Shards, keep the Pugna in a specific area so the Queen of Pain can blink in, throw out the Sonic Wave, the Shadow Strike, in case he tries to run himself away. It is an extremely strong combo that we've seen. It's usually the Earthshaker that sits with the Queen of Pain, but obviously they have Tusk this time. And with the Ice Shards, he does quite a similar job. They follow up with Snowball as well for that extra little bit of lockdown. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Katso babysitting Nisha in the mid lane and really trying to make this as effective as possible, shut down the Pugna, because Pugna can be a real nightmare if you let him get any amount of farm. You know, once he gets the ball rolling, he is a really strong snowball hero. So yeah, I do see the Tusk sitting in the mid lane, just babysitting Nisha and trying to put a world of hurt onto the Pugna.
Speaking of snowball heroes, Tusk. Camp in the middle lane, perhaps. So we'll see for him. Alpha9 though is going to pick up that bounty rune as he'll head towards the middle lane and continue, or look forward to getting the creep block on. Kingar and Rubik. He's going to be sneaky here in the middle himself. Perhaps some kind of courier snipe attempt to start things off with his positioning. Don't think it would really result in a kill here, of course, but yeah, I got to think that's for the courier. They don't really have vision there. He's kind of poking out slowly, hoping that the courier's coming quickly. But as we see, that's not the case, so I don't think the courier snipe is going to be successful for Rubik here. You'd have to be pretty damn patient for that to work out. Top lane, Mag. They're going to apply some pressure. It's just sacrifice on Lich, so he can't assist a whole lot other than the auto attacks. The shards will block him in, but yeah, it's not really the greatest team at getting a first blood with the three of them there.
No, can do a lot for us though. Force Mag back before he can get the level 2, the point into the press of the attack. And it does really force him back to the fountain if you can do enough, because the shrine doesn't come up for 5 minutes, and Legion Commander isn't the greatest at sustaining, because she does have mana issues with having to constantly use the press of the attack, as well as maybe the overwhelming odds for the last hits.
Bottom lane, Patos in trouble. This possibly could be the first blood. Definitely better for getting it, and sure enough, it is. As they take him out. The Arcane Bolt span kind of softened him up, and then Kingar eventually rotates him with those boots. Lifts him up in the air, throws him down, and he just could not react to it. So first blood struck from effect here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I know Batrider wants to be saving money, but you really do need possibly 8 tangos if you're going to be going up against Scarith Mage in the lane.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, wow. Did he die for that one right there? It looks like. Blinked on in to get it out, but it might come at a cost now. Meanwhile, Mag does die at the top lane. A couple more auto attacks. He got it off, but the salve and the uphill, he'll actually blink away. Nisha will survive. Wow, that was very close to dying just for the courier snipe right there, but he gets it, he gets out. And then as mentioned, they also get the kill on the Legion Commander at the top lane meanwhile. So ended up working out overall pretty good for Kinguin there, but very close calls.
Yeah, it looks like Mag wants to build potentially for just roaming into the jungle. Excuse me, going towards the Quelling Blade, already got to the point into the moment of courage as well, so not going for the press of the attack to try and sustain on the lane. It just looks like Mag knows the lane might be lost, and if you can get into the jungle, find some extra farm, dipping in and out of the lane when it presses up, it's a lot better than just being denied farm completely.
So Nisha, of course, comes back middle. Bottom lane, Patos actually could be dead again. Whew. Seems like he is going to be out of range, and RZ cannot stay close enough for another Arcane Bolt. He does have mana for it now, but yeah, not in range, so Patos doing some creep pulling and trying to get in there. He is level 3, so even despite that death, he's doing all right when you look at it from that perspective, but is having to be careful as middle lane. Speaking of being careful, Pugna has to be careful right here to Crepify. Going to save him a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, the auto attack comes out as soon as it wears off, and Nisha does get credit for the kill in the end. So good roam from that Tusk right there. You're talking about that he's going to be a valuable asset in this middle lane especially, and he results in a kill there.
Yeah, and that's just what Katsuo can do. He can just sit in this lane and keep spamming that out, and Afro Ninja is going to have a problem farming us. Mag just, what's he doing?
I mean, I don't know. I guess he was just too far. But yeah, how is he dying to a Lich Animage? It does seem odd. That really shouldn't be happening. Those are not two heroes that are like, they don't even have a stun. I mean, stating the obvious here, I know, but if two heroes do not have a stun, it seems like he just should not be dying.
No, and Lich is taken, he's only got 1 point in the Frost Blast, so it's not that great amount of damage that he can do later on in the game. So Mag, it looks like he just wants the farm to move towards the Quelling Blade before he moves into the jungle, or even just, like I said, dips in and out of the jungle. And I suppose if he's not getting the procs off on the moment of courage, you know, it can really go downhill quite quickly for him.
Race to the double damager. Pugna's like, if I can't get it, nobody will get it. He actually attacks it before Queen of Pain can make it, so she'll have to fall back. She just got her bottle delivered anyways, and it's just going to use all the charges. Get back, Batrider bottom lane. He could be dying right here again. Arcane Bolt, not going to be enough, actually. Patos will keep his distance. He pops a regen. That's 3 heroes trying to dive near the tower. Unable to drop the Batrider, though, so good job using that magic stick as well Stay alive. Back to the middle lane. Tusk again rotates in. The shards block, and Alpha 9 one auto attack away. The Decrepify will keep it alive a little bit longer, but not long enough. K-Sor will finish him off. Oof, it's getting worse and worse now. Seems like for effect here. They got the first blood, and since then it's been 4-0 in favor of Kinguin.
Yeah, and again, this is just what they can do. As soon as the Scarith Mage and the Rubik shows on this bottom lane, Tusk makes a move into the mid lane because it's going to take time for them to react. And the time it takes them to react, I think Ninja's already dead. 780 health. He takes a lot of harass from the Decrepify when he does that as well, just from the Scream of Pain. So it's going to be a real nightmare that Effect needs to balance these lanes between the Pugna and trying to gank around the map as well, because if the Anti-Mage gets free farm, if he gets the 14-minute Battle Fury with the Power Treads, moves into the jungle, it really starts to get hard for Effect to come back from this, because Anti-Mage, once again, another snowbally hero, but once he gets on a roll, it's really, really hard to shut him down.
Yeah, and it goes back to this team is going to have trouble killing him, it seems like. I mean, even with that final pick, we talked about the lack of lockdown that they had. I mean, sure, Elsie brings that with the duel, but again, we're talking about an ultimate that has a fairly longer, it's 50 seconds, not crazy, but they don't have that solid, reliable, constant stun to try to, go for those kills constantly on the anti-mage. Speaking of Mag, at the top lane, this time Tusk is going to assist him. Hero blocking, throwing in. Lift up on the anti-mage. He does not have Mana Void yet, but the Tusk Ice Shards once again blocking that path and resulting in another kill. We really haven't. In fact, I want to say this is the first Tusk game I've seen in this event specifically. And man, I'm surprised we haven't seen him more, because holy crap, this Tusk is having so much impact, And King R is also going to fall. One more auto tech gets him to whoever the TP in Matt gets here, but it's obviously way too late. Yet another kill, and Exotic Deer now is 2-0-2, and he's top on CS on top of that. You can't have that if you're the Radiant side, being an anti-mage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And this is what Tusk does. He's a real feast or famine hero, but if you can get him on, especially against a team that doesn't really have any escapes, you've got the Faceless Void that's got the Time Walk. No one else can really get out of those Ice Shards, so if you can land the Ice Shards into the Snowball, and you've got enough damage to follow it up, the Tusk is going to have a really, really great time. And up against the Pugna, again, doesn't have the greatest health pool, the Queen of Pain there. Whenever he goes into the Decrepify, you just throw out the Scream of Pain, the Sonic Wave once it comes up as well to do that bonus damage. So it's a real good setup. The Sonic Wave going to be a little bit off the mark, and they're going to be making a move onto the Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Blink, but the Ice Shards just block it off, and Nisha gets away.
Wow, I thought that was a kill. I think Skyrat did as well. It's only level 1 concussive shot, though, and manages to actually get away right there. Yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing for Nisha, as you mentioned, kind of whiffed that Sonic Wave initiation. Now K-Sor, middle lane, he's taking some return damage. That should kill him. So they will get Tusk taken out, and some firepower being shown here from Effect that they're not going to get rolled over necessarily. But yeah, now Alpha 9 is going for the tower kill, and nice vulnerability. You do have the idea of Pugna, though. He is good against Lich for this reason. Deny attempt. It's not going to work. Another Nether Blast secures that kill, but yeah, Nisha porting in. At least Pugna will be able to get back before she can blink in and try to secure a kill there. But how is Faceless Void doing bottom lane? He's 34-7 down here. It seems like he is doing overall decent, but of course the Courier being dead once again, I'm sure that's kind of slowing things down as well. Working on a Mask of Madness, but built a little bit of early items before making a point to get into the Mask of Madness here at this point in the game. Middle lane Rubik, that's another kill. The Tusk and the Queen of Pain. They continue to do damage here.
Yeah, and again, I really think Tusk is really underrated as a hero. Again, if you can find these people that can land, the players that can land the Ice Shards and just disrupt the movement of the enemy team, he's a great hero, absolutely fantastic hero. Gets himself into the Solar Crest or the Medallion, whichever one comes up first. He's just going to make another move. The Snowball comes out again. Holds... Caught up on the hill cliff, but again, Mag is not going to be able to get himself away, and now there is a Mana Void available. Exotic Deer cleans up the kill.
At least they get some response, as we see at the bottom lane. Once again, a kill on a Bat Rider, but yeah, a little bit awkward there for Tusk. He'll be fine, though. He actually snowballs into this massive stack here. But they're not going to be able to do it, of course. Going to wait for the Battle Fury, ideally. or the anti-mage until they look to get that taken out. But speaking of the Battle Fury, man, I mean, he almost has enough for the Claymore and then just needs the broadsword after that. This is going to be a very, very early Battle Fury at this rate. And he's going to find Pugna, actually. So Pugna just kind of walks right into that Chain Frosted. Decrepify, remember, being up. It's great for a minute getting that physical, but it amps that magic. A lot of damage coming out of the duel put up on an anti-mage, so this will be a great turn. Kill the life drain, stops it, and then the blast gets the kill onto anti-mage. Beautiful turn for effect. That was so close to going the other way, but it didn't, and that's exactly what effect needed in this earlier game to slow down the anti-mage. And they get a kill there to do so. And they're also going to fight Tusk, actually. That should be another kill. There you go. And make it happen, too. So that's a nice streak right there. As well, they will lose Pugna, meanwhile. Up at the top, he was kind of near his teammates, but Queen of Pain finds him by himself. Overall, the sequence of events, though, that's effect is at least calming it down a little bit here.
Invisibility.
Yeah, it is starting to even up. Unlucky that the Tusk was silenced, couldn't snowball himself back to safety or get himself away. But this is what effect really need. They need to be managing these lanes, because with the Tusk roaming like he did, he was effectively winning 2 lanes because no one could pressure on the anti-mage, and the Pugna just kept getting picked off. So now effect with the the level 8, the Chronosphere up, they want to be rotating around, making these moves, finding the kills, and really start to take this early game to Kinguin. And it does force Kinguin to try and respond. You know, they put the ball in their court now. But again, Cat saw the snowball comes through just to block off Afo Ninja, and it looks like Peyto's going to be taken down. Mag trying to follow up with another duel, but I don't know if they're going to have the damage this time.
Not the victory, at least. Will they get the kill even? Nice Ice Shards block. That's going to be enough. With the Decrepify. Getting that amp damage, of course, for the kill. So, yeah, double kill for our Zeke in that exchange right there. Again, no dual victory, but they'll be satisfied with the kill nonetheless, and they're kind of closing that kill gap. It's not only a 1,000 net worth lead in favor of the Dire team, but Queen of Pain finishes the Veil of Discord, and that with the power treads already on top of her. You know that she's also a pretty threatening target. In fact, top farming hero in the game right now at 5,300 net worth. Blink Dagger on Legion Commander, as it usually is, no doubt going to be a pretty powerful tool this time around for effect. That's going to be the item that kind of puts them back in this game, if anything, trying to start taking a lead for themselves, because that'll give them that idea, the momentum, the lockdown that they're looking for, and the tempo, really, that this lineup will feed off of here on effect's side.
Yeah, and I don't know, like 12 minutes in, the net worth's kind of similar, but I just think effect. The Chronosphere is up, so like you say, they just need to be fighting around these ultimates. I think it's something that Faceless Void is known for. Late game, anti-mage is going to absolutely wipe the floor with effect. I've got no doubt in my mind that's going to happen. But if, like you say, effect can start to move around the map, just find the kills, find the towers before the anti-mage gets too big, maybe they have a chance of dealing with it. But once he starts getting himself towards maybe the Butterfly of the Heart, the Basher, into the Abyssal Blade, yeah, no chance to effect. And I think it's a standard thing with anti-mage games that once he does get to the 4 or 5 items, it's a real slog to fight through him. He gets the Aegis, it starts to pile on the pressure, puts its split push potential out, and then Boots travels to the lane to the fight, you know, cleans up the heroes with the Mana Void. It's a whole kettle of fish that teams just really don't like dealing with, and that's why you see anti-mage ban out in the 3rd, 4th ban pretty much, what, 75% of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely a popular one in that later stage for sure. Bottom lane, Mag, he's going to be dove on. The Sonic Wave will secure that kill. TP's coming in. The Mystic Flare did a little bit of damage to Patos, trying to finish him off with another auto attack. Can't get that though. Nisha with the double damage rune takes out Skywrath Mage himself. You see over here, Kasor, he's trying to live. That ain't going to work though. He's run down by a couple of heroes, Rubik and Faceless Void. Faceless Void does have that Chronosphere. Once again, still ready to go. May try to find the chance to use it, but without much assisted damage, there's no way to jump at the Queen of Pain, who blinks away, and that will be the end of that exchange. So, but again, you always have to keep in mind whenever a fight like that breaks out, you look at the specific fight and maybe the numbers exchange fairly even, but you did have an anti-mage continuing to farm during that whole time, and that's kind of the key right there, I feel like. As interesting here, by the way, he actually went the full Iron Talon, and now he's going to go back for the Quelling Blade, so a little bit curious on that decision, but he's going to have it very, very shortly. Just needs a couple more creep kills, and that will be finished. Sadoy, whoa, that was bottom lane. Was that a Bat Rider? Yeah, Lasso. Looks like they got him. No blink even needed just yet. 1,800 gold saved up. He almost has it, but they managed to lock down Faceless Void, take him out, and now they're going to push bottom tower as well. That is not good if you're Effect right as the Battle Fury timing's coming up, especially here for Kinguin.
No. And if they carry on going on the tier 2, it looks like they want to try and make a move with the Ice Shards as well as the Life Drain. And Lich is going to go down to Alpha Ninja. Katsu trying to get himself away, should be able to get himself away if the rest of his team do come through.
Poor man.
I guess he was leading to his fate. But yeah, while this is going on, like you say, the Anti-Mage is up on the top lane. He's pushing that tier 1 tower, putting the pressure onto that. He's finding the farm in the jungle now as well. And Exotic Deer got himself a 40-minute Battle of Fury, going to be able to finish off the power treads and a Clarity as well. It looks like just for that extra, just in case anyone comes across, you can throw out the Mana Void. But it's just, again, this is what Kinguin do. They split the map up, they put pressure on the tier 1 bot while Anti-Mage is on the tier 1 top. You then move to gank the Anti-Mage. There's 3 heroes move into the mid lane or the bottom lane, and you just start to split the map. And this is where the Anti-Mage draft does become effective, that it kind of splits the team focus. And you've got Legion Commander on the mid lane trying to find the farm. You've got Faceless Void trying to contest the Anti-Mage. You've got 2 heroes. Okay, they did find a kill in the jungle, but at the cost of losing a tier 1 tower, losing some jungle creeps themselves. So it's all about the push and pull on the Anti-Mage draft. And if Effect, like you say, if they can't find the timings, if they really can't take control of this, they are just going to lose to a war of attrition, where this could be the 9 and 12 could be the final kill score. But Anti-Mage could push this in. Again, 3 heroes roaming around the map. They find the Legion Commander because the Legion Commander's in the jungle looking for farm. The Pugna knows to get himself away now, but this is going to be vital time that the Pugna needed to farm up to catch up from being taken down several times in the mid lane.
Top lane, they're going for this kill, though. Get the kill. There's that combination we're talking about. Even the Sonic Wave from Rubik that he stole as well, assisting right there. But at what cost now? Sidoi. Time walks away. No, the Sonic Wave did barely clip him, it looks like. But he still has some nice distance now. He meanwhile yields on himself from Queen of Pain. Should have purged something off right there. Double damage rune activated on him. Another auto attack should do our Zeke in, as it does. Ancient Steel once again applying. Going to be wearing off shortly, though. Sidoi, another time walk here. Just a matter of when he wants to use it. Walrus Punch in the air. A lot of burst. There we go. That'll be the Q, but now it's going to result in kill nonetheless, although the duel coming on a Queen of Pain right here. This might be a risky duel for the Legion Commander. Okay, it's not going to be a return kill at least, but blinking away. You see Pugna trying to assist. They do lose Legion Commander though, and now F9, she's trying to get a kill on anyone right here. Throwing down another Nether Blast. Nisha, he's also chasing after Rubik while trying to survive himself, so very close calls. Has another screen, but he doesn't hit King R, and Nisha's fairly deep now. The Tusk Eye Shard's coming in, the Chain Frost bounces in, and F9 should end up falling. Another scream coming out to finish the job. Ancient Seal once again, but the yields to purge it right on off. And Nisha looking for even more kills on top of this. Good thing he doesn't have a Bloodstone, I guess. But Mystic Flares actually returns some nice damage. It gets the kill onto him as well. Coming out from Effect. What a final response there from Effect. And, I mean, you look at the recap of that fight. Just so crazy. It ends up being a 4-for-4. And, honestly, quite the goal change in favor of Effect overall. Their supports especially. Getting quite a bit out of that, so I don't really know what to make of that fight, frankly.
I mean, it was a good fight from Effect. Any fight, anytime they can pick up the Anti-Mage is going to be a great fight. But you see Exotic Deer respawn. He didn't even bother to come help the rest of his team. The rest of his team picked off, was that 4 heroes, 5 heroes? And Exotic Deer just moves himself into the bottom jungle, finds the Ancient Stack, finds himself some creeps in the jungle. He's loving life. He's moving himself around, going towards his Manta style now, and this is something, again, it's this push-pull that I was talking about before, that, okay, they lose the Anti-Mage, but they pick up another 4 heroes, Anti-Mage comes back, and pretty much gets the farm back instantly, moving himself through the jungle. So, this is a big time in the Effect need to be fighting every time this Chronosphere is off cooldown, and they need to be looking for that Anti-Mage, I think. Taking a tower off the back of it, taking objectives, maybe looking towards a Roshan to make it harder to fight into next time as well. But they need to be finding this Anti-Mage pick-off, and then they need to be following up once he's back on the map and farming up a different area of the map.
Well, they are smoked up again right here. At least 3 heroes. You got Pugna and Legion Commander roaming towards the bottom side. The Dire team throwing out a scan. It got close, but doesn't look like it's going to pick up on anything. They're smoked up themselves, so we definitely could have a clash coming out. Again, Chronosphere is ready with that Mask of Madness. LC also sitting behind, Blink, ready to go. And assist as well. Lasso, there's the jump. Press the attack, comes out in response. Sonic Wave does still connect. He puts out that the Decrepify after the fact as Tusk kind of goes in with a flank, and he's going to end up dying. Actually gets a dual victory to them right there. They did take out Pugna, though, so a 1-for-1. But again, seems like a broken record right here while this is going on. Exotic Deer on the Anti-Mage. Continuing to farm elsewhere, pushing out top lane, farming the jungle now. So unless you're really dominating these fights with your effect, it's not really going to be working out for you in the long run. And Anti-Mage, he's almost got a full Manta style now because of the farm that he's made. But Tier 1 tower at least going to be pressured, and that's what Effect is going for here. As Faceless Voice still has that Chronosphere, but can't find the Bat Rider or another target. And they'll be happy with the Tier 1 tower kill, but again, they've spent a lot of time into dropping this Tier 1 tower, especially with that Lich Armor. As we're now 20 minutes in, and it's still a 4,000 overall net worth lead, but you can't say they're not trying, that's for sure. It's just good responses from Kinguin, not giving him the easy openings in terms of finding those jumps for the most part. If you're Effect here, I mean, you look at their vision, it's pretty lacking right now. They finally get one down at the bottom side. But overall, the map is pretty dark for them. They probably need to get some more aggressive wards up, you'd figure. Oh, this game, as Queen Pain takes out the courier.
And again, they lose the courier. Yeah, third time. I think that's the third time they've lost the courier.
I believe so. That's frustrating.
But again, Sidoi should find the kill on this Lich.
Okay.
Does find the kill. But it's this thing of Effect have a great team fight, but they don't have any real tower punches. You know, the Anti-Mage on the... Okay, Alpha Ninja is there. He's able to throw down... Well, might be dead, but he's able to throw down those blasts, you know, to do a little bit of damage to the towers. But the Anti-Mage is so quick at cleaning up towers just because of the fact that he can clean up the waves so quickly, and he's got the creeps to reinforce him. Whereas Effect, they take a fight, they take a Tusk kill in trade for a Pugna, and that's kind of it. The push potential is kind of on the floor then. And they need to wait for the Pugna to come back up to put any real pressure on these towers. The Anti-Mage isn't going to wait for that. The Anti-Mage is just going to move to another lane, let his team do what he does, you know, do what they do, and then put pressure onto the Tier 2 tower, like we saw. Takes a Tier 1, puts pressure onto the Tier 2, gets himself out. I don't even think he's been involved in a team fight purposely this entire game.
I am wondering what he goes for at this next item, because these first two, you know, Battle Fury into the Manta style, that's basically the core of what we see every Anti-Mage. But then from here is where it starts to transition a little bit. It could be the BKB, could be even straight Butterfly, you know, etc. So is there maybe something that stands out to you that would make sense? Is the BKB that necessary this game, you think?
No, probably not, because I'd potentially see him moving into the heart. Maybe a BKB later on, just because if he does get caught out, the Butterfly, there's only really the Legion Commander and the Faceless Void that's going to be doing that right click. And if it's the Chronosphere that he gets caught out in, you know, the Legion Commander isn't going to be there to right click. The Heart's going to offer a little bit more survivability. It's just pure health as well against the magic damage coming out from the side of Effect. So, yeah, the BKB could be there once he's ready to start fighting. You know, he decides, right, I'm 6-slotted, I'm 5-slotted, whatever. It's time to really take it to Effect and maybe try and close out the game. But for now, I potentially do see it just being the heart. It makes the illusions a little bit tankier as well. It makes him harder to kill. It's a great mid to late game item that if he does get gone on, he's not expending these BKB charges that he could really need in the late game, but it does offer him that little bit more survivability.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower has
All right, we'll see what he follows up with for sure, but Ultimate Orb still needs to be purchased. I mean, he has enough gold for it. It's just a matter of actually getting over to that shop and buying it here. He's not going to bother using the courier, of course, keeping that for other teammates. He's so mobile that he can get there pretty quickly. In fact, did go that -1 second blink cooldown on top of that, so he only had 4-second cooldown now on that blink. Again, able to move around the map very freely here. This smoke is interesting because running into a couple of heroes. Is Radiant side. It's going to be exposed right there. Do they really jump? Oh, they found Queen of Pain, but did not react that quickly. And Satoy went up the hill, hoping to find a target. They do find Queen of Pain, the Mystic Flare on top of the duel, and they eventually get him. So Queen of Pain, that almost seemed a little odd right there. He's kind of walking around the area. Definitely saw them. Did not expect him to jump so aggressively, though, apparently. And they do drop her. I mean, she's working on that Lincolns, which would have been nice to have in that case, but obviously doesn't have it yet. So that's a good find for Effect. She's out for the next 50 seconds and mitigating her farm at least. So again, Effect is getting the occasional pick. We saw the Anti-Mage earlier. We saw Queen of Pain now right here. But it's like, now what do you do after that pick, right? Because if you ultimately just kind of go back and farm, it doesn't feel like that's really accomplishing enough in the end, in the long run here for effect.
No. It's just this thing of, yeah, they're only 3k behind in the net worth, but they need so much on the heroes to be able to fight. Legion Commander's going for that Shadow Blade now, potentially goes for the Silver Edge, just for the right click onto the Anti-Mage, and taking out the Spell Shield. That's a 50% resistance to all the attacks, all the magic damage coming out. You've got Faceless Void wants to go towards the BKB, and even though the Queen of Pain's down, that's a good pickup that Effect should think, well, we've got a Queen of Pain down now, we're 4v5, or 5v4, and the Anti-Mage doesn't really want to be fighting just yet. You know, maybe look for a tier 2 tower, or look for a little bit of damage, or look to, like you say, to get some more ward vision down. Don't just go back and farm, because it's alright, because you are getting the items, but objectively you're getting nothing from it.
Oh, they're going to find Faceless Void first. He does have a Chronosphere, but it's not going to work. Everything's used. The Chain Frost even does bounce over to Rubik as well. He goes down, and a couple of picks just like that. Now Skywrath Mage, he's going to be pushed back with a Flame Break. Beautiful Flame Break, really. Exotic Deer, a couple of more auto attacks. Doesn't even get it off as Nisha will finish him anyway. So double kill for Nisha there. But, yeah, that find, they had a Sentry, and I believe he just walked into the Sentry area, so they knew he was there. I don't know if they dusted or what, but the lasso came out. They take him out. Obviously, you got the responders out of effect as well. And now they're going to transition into that Roshan. That's what I was going to suggest if you're effect. You know, to pick off Queen of Pain. Maybe the Roshan kill would have been nice, but now that won't even be an option for a while as Kinguin's going for it. But Legion Commander, he's going to make it a little difficult. He uses the Shadow Blade. He's possibly going to go in, actually. And a chance for an opening. Duel is ready. He's going to go for it. Roshan getting low. Keep an eye on the Aegis. The duel is out, but Elisa picks it up. Actually on the Lich. He will let it fall in. Mana Void does not finish off Mac, though. He did get the winner. Taking out the Tusk. Lich is still there. He's going to respawn. Throws out the Frost Blast. But I don't think he's getting out of Yell. Maybe he is. TP is successful. And so he does escape. So, well, Kinguin, they don't get to keep the Aegis, but really, again, I don't think that's necessarily that big of a deal if you're Kinguin there.
No, yeah, okay, they lose here, just like you say, but they get themselves out. They only really lose the Tusk. The big thing is they lost the Aegis, and LC got a little bit more dual damage from that fight,
True.
Which is great from effect. You know, anything, these little 14 damage, that's like an item. It's a decent amount of farm that he's sitting in the jungle trying to stack up. So, yeah, anything, any little bit that effect can get from these fights is going to be great for them going into this late game now.
Yeah, you look at Rubik right there having fun and blinking away before the Bat Rider could catch him. Then he actually used the blink ability on top of that. So he has a blink dagger, the blink ability they stole in. A very slippery Rubik right here currently. That you have to look out for if you're Kinguin. But Bat Rider, he's got the lasso ready to go yet again. Force Staff as well. He's looking for another target. And if he keeps going to the left, they may find somebody, but I don't know if they will like that necessarily. Chronosphere ready for Faceless Void. And he's looking for himself to try to find that jump, but Tusk a little bit too far back. We're in that scary spot of they're so close to one another, but nothing actually happening. We do see Anti-Mage, though, the next choice that he is going to go for. He is going to go the Lincolns right here. It's a pretty damn good Lincolns game, specifically the duel, of course. And Ags at that point wouldn't then do anything, so yeah. If you're going to get the Reflecting, the Lincolns, or the avoiding the single target, that is. The Lincolns, of course, makes sense.
Yeah.
Form right here.
Yeah, it's a great item as well, just being able to escape, not having to try and bait out the Rubik Telekinesis first. You can just go straight for that blink and not worry about any follow-up, really.
Middle. They're looking. Man, it's like, that's got to be so tempting if you're Sidoi right there. To just go in and open with a Chronosphere. He had a little bit of backup nearby, but did not feel confident enough. Definitely had the vision, too. Went to their perspective right there. Choosing not to, however. Playing it a little safe. And you can't do that too much here in a game like this, of course. Yule's finished by Patos, meanwhile. And we've also seen how powerful that's been this game as hell. Even Rubik picks one of his own. But specifically for the Dire team, to get rid of that Ancient Seal debuff of Skywrath Mage with the Silence, seems like that alone is a pretty good tool to get rid of. Such a strong silence there.
And anything you can do just to make this a little bit easier in the team fights, it's always worth looking into at least. And Skywrath Mage, gone to the Atos of his own, which is going to be great for solo Mystic Flares, not having to rely on the Chronosphere, the Telekinesis. Again, it's the farm being split between the Rubik and the Scarith, not prioritising on both. It could have been a little bit earlier, but within the team fights, it's completely on the mark. 30 minutes in as a Scarith, not the worst timing in the world to be picking that up.
Yeah, to me, I mean, you look at these supports right here, being level 14 as well, having the level 2 Mystic Flare, it seems like from a couple of perspectives, it's actually not too bad with how he's doing. Middle lane Rubik, he is able to blink away. Oof, good job with that Yules into the blink, as mentioned before. So the blink that he has stolen from Anti-Mage is going to wear off here in a couple of seconds, though, so he'll only get a little more freedom to use that. Top lane, they're going in for the kill. That will be the Queen of Pain, and it is going to be enough. The Snowball was too far away from Castor. Now he's in trouble as well. He's going to get 4 staff. Kinguin lifts him up, though, and he's going to bring him right back in for the eventual kill. The Walrus Punch ain't going to save him there. But, yeah, big kill on the Queen of Pain. And now, again, his effect is going to be able to capitalize with going for that objective now. This being Tier 3 push, it looks like.
I think they need to, especially with the Anti-Mage pushing the bot. I think with the Chronosphere available, they wait for this creep wave to come in and they put the pressure onto this Tier 3 tower. Otherwise, if they go back to defend every single time, they've got the LC back down there to defend. They've got 2 heroes down. You know, force out some buybacks, try and take an objective if they don't, and really start putting the pressure onto Kinguin. Otherwise, if they play it too defensively with a whiff Chronosphere, that's not great. But if they play it too defensively, again, they'll just lose Death of 1,000 Cuts.
Oh, actually, Anti-Mage, he overstepped his hands right there. He is going to pop the Manta Style barely and get away. But, yeah, his Manta Style was still on cooldown, actually, when he got silenced up right there. So that was a very scary spot for him to be in. He saw that with Chronosphere, and I think that was like Anti-Mage was like, all right, now it's a free reign. I'm just going to go. That almost backfired for him. Meanwhile, though, Rubik is going to be lassoed up, and they will finish the job on him. Sadoy barely TPs out in time before he can be stopped, as the Walrus Punch was used just prior from Tusk. So they do get away. They do retreat, and again, so they get a bit of damage on that Tier 3 tower. You talked about Anti-Mage split pushing, though. He also got some good damage down here. And he, of course, stayed alive in the long run and is working towards the Basher into the eventual Abyssal Blade. So he is going to become much more of a damage threat and will be at a spot where anyone he finds with the Abyssal Manta Style should be a pretty free kill moving forward right here. So that window, it's not closed by any means just yet for effect, but it's definitely starting to go down a little bit. It is closing, and they got to keep the aggressive picks up, which, again, they've been doing a solid job of. You really can't discredit them there, but it really is a tough game for them with how it continues to be with the Anti-Mage farm especially. But that's going to be another outer tower, and I believe that's the last one, yeah. No, middle tower's up, excuse me. So middle Tier 2 is still up, but they're slowly working at that. And probably just going to transition over to the middle lane even, or they may just keep going top. They're just going to stick around the area.
Again, just keep the pressure on. Try and force Legion back. LC is off the map now, so they're not quite sure if she's TP'd or not. The Tier 2 is going to be taking a lot of harass, and you can just see a little bit of, maybe a little bit of, do we go, do we not go? While the LC is missing, and Exhausted TPs himself away to push back this bottom lane. But this is exactly what Effect need to be doing. Need to be splitting the map themselves, putting the pressure on. Again, looking to fight around the Chronosphere. I think if Kinguin tried to stack up there and push the Tier 3, it wouldn't have turned out as great as they wanted to. Looking at the buybacks, it's going to be 4 buybacks on the side of Kinguin, so maybe even if they do lose a couple of heroes, the buybacks are there, they maybe go for a repush, but not wanting to take in that risk against Effect at the moment.
Haste.
Smoked up here. 4 of them Radiant side. Oop, maybe catch Anti-Mage. Man, Chronosphere ready. Oh, if he farms this could be in trouble. There we go. The Chronosphere opens. He does have a little bit of support nearby. That Mystic Flare, though, remember that passive, though, is doing a lot of work. He's taking through a lot of this damage. Sonic Wave in return. They are going to kill the Anti-Mage. He has that buyback, though, as mentioned, but the Chain Frost bouncing around. They probably don't even need him. Cleaning up. Double kill for Elisa. Pugna's going to finish off Tusk. He's going to be thrown in there by the Yules. Mag gets picked off, though, and this Queen of Pain still looking good. An Arcane Rune active threat, all this. However, Pugna with that BKB. The zaps of the Nether Ward also being annoying. Not going to kill Nisha in the end, though. She'll kill off the ward, and now going back in for Pugna, who ends up being the sole survivor in this fight. So they used everything to take out Anti-Mage, and it worked, but obviously comes at a cost, as it's going to be 4, possibly 5 heroes to try and use. There's a buyback from Rubik. He's coming in. They want to turn this fight, actually. In fact, Queen of Pain, he now has to respect that for sure. He has to blink away. Alpha9 somewhat still alive. Life Drain not up for another 10 seconds. He's taking the right clicks. Not going to be enough, though. The Sonic Wave comes back in. The Sonic Scream, excuse me, and does finish off the job. And now Rubik, he's going to be added up with the sticky napalms. He, too, is going to die for the dieback to top it all off. A 6-for-2, we'll call it, in favor of Kinguin. Yet another case of effect. They get a pick, and it was good, but there happened to be the support just right there, and their turn was real.
Yeah, and you could tell they wanted to get in, find the anti-mage, get themselves away. The Rubik, as well as the Pugna, being able to waste as much time as they did near that shrine, potentially saved at least this tier 2 tower in the mid, just because Kinguin are so distracted trying to find this kill on the Pugna. They want this kill. They've got the red mist, you know, they can see this kill coming. The Rubik TP's into delay even longer. By the time they found the kill, the LC's back up, the Faceless Void's back up, the Scarith Mage is back up as well, and against the 3 heroes that were up, 3-4 heroes that were up on the side of Kinguin at that time, that would have been a really hard fight to try and take, pushing up onto the high ground on the side of effect. And even now the duel coming out with that Mystic Flare, Mag, he's on 98 duel damage. It's really starting to stack up. These duels are going to be coming quicker. They're going to be, you know, being able to take down heroes faster as well as the damage does stack up. So this is where effect could potentially, 63 seconds, could start to maybe put pressure onto Kinguin. You know, take a little bit of map control back, maybe even look for a second pick. The Chronosphere does come back up, so there's no reason why they don't group up and look for a second kill.
Yeah. I mean, about these dual charges here, dual damage, whatever you want to say, for a Legion Commander, they need it, because you look at that last example right there, still killing the anti-mage, how long it took to kill him as well. Again, a lot of that has to do with the spell shield passive of his, and how reliant they are on spell damage to get these kills. And Pugna, of course, leading the way in net worth, he's doing pretty damn good. He's 15,000 net worth. He's all magic damage. You have Skywrath once again, all magic damage. Faceless Void, for the time being, honestly, is relying a fair amount on his magic damage as well with the time lock procs of his bash here. He really isn't going to be that scary of a physical threat just yet, and he's going into BKB, which is a good item, but they're really needing LC to be their physical threat right now to take out this anti-mage. So they may have another chance coming up right here, but they need to be careful themselves, as you see it blinking away. So Kinguin was coming in with, I believe it was an initial smoke, but not getting an opening, and thus are going to be falling back from a situation here. But anti-mage, as he continues to farm just a little bit more, guess what? He almost has an Abyssal Blade now, as he's sitting at 3,500 gold. And he's almost level 25 as well, which is just another pretty key thing here. Usually we see that 25 agility, so just kind of free stats for him. Minus 50-second Mana Void cooldown this game might not be a bad option, considering you're going up against a Pugna, even a Skywrath Mage, but we'll see. We'll see what he chooses to do. Either way, it's going to be a nice pickup. And this smoke, though, oh, Patos, he's finding somebody. He found, is that the LC? It sure is. That's going to be a quick start. Nice Decrepify, trying to save him a little bit. Ain't going to work, though, in the back lines. They do kill Tusk. Exotic Deer maybe went a little bit too deep. And Tadoi pops his BKB and is running. Chronosphere didn't really get a whole lot, unfortunately for them. Rubik down as well. That's a great find for Patos. That's a prime target, and with no buyback on top of that. Uh-oh, this is a huge opening for Kinguin now.
Yeah, and you just saw the LC was the hero they didn't want to be caught out. You know, Sidoi tries and cancels the Chronosphere. He doesn't want to be throwing that out until the LC's clear, otherwise he's definitely dead. And couldn't even catch the Queen of Pain, and it blinks it out just before the Chronosphere comes back up, which is really painful. And now Kinguin just move into the tier 3 towers, look for racks, look to do whatever damage you can, and there's no buybacks available now on the side of effect. They've put it all into the items, trying to look for these fights, and Kinguin should be able to take at least, well, they've got 1 racks, and now they're just going to move themselves out, play it safe, I guess. Don't want to be committing too much, especially with this tier 3 tower on the top lane being pushed in and taken down. Nisha moves himself away. And everybody else says, you know what, let's back off, let's not overextend, play it safe. And it was a great fight for Kinguin. Like I say, LC is the one hero you don't want to be caught out by the lasso, because there's no real hero there then to cancel the lasso if the Rubik's not arranged to pull the telekinesis off and drag the Batrider back and make sure that the stationary, the Batrider is kept stationary while the lasso's going.
Yeah, that got a little scary there for Kinguin as the push was happening. Just the 3 heroes of effect. Pugna especially were doing a hell of a job of holding right there, but eventually they get the kills, they get the melee racks, and so they accomplish quite a bit off of that LC pick. And they also find Skywrath Mage up here by himself. And this is what I was going to say. Now, Kinguin really should just look for the open Roshan, and sure enough, they go into it. I mean, Effect may try to go for a steal right here, and you could argue that's probably maybe their last bet to try not to let this game get too out of hand, but they're not going for it. They're falling back, and now you're going to have to deal with an Aegis on this over-farmed anti-mage, as well as Chiefs pick up, I'm guessing, for the Queen of Pain here, as that looks like that is the case. So, yeah, anti-mage now has the Abyssal Blade. He did not have that in the last fight. He just had the gold to purchase it, but now he has it. As Shiva's finished on Queen of Pain as well. So the next tier items also coming along pretty nicely for this Dire team to top it all off. And they're going to find Pugna, and that would be staying dead for him. Yep, that's going to be 80 seconds. No buyback. That could be the window to finish this game now if you're Kinguin.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that's where in 90% of pubs, people screaming, don't go on your own, don't go on your own, don't go on your own. You know, even just up to the high ground on the other side of your base, it's really risky if you don't have the vision. The lasso can come out, lock you down, find the kill, which, you know, Pugna doesn't really survive through this, and now it puts them at a massive disadvantage. This could even be, like you say, this could be game. If they can't find maybe 4 or 5 heroes, losing 1 or 2 of their own, Kinguin just keep putting the pressure on. They take the tier 2 tower in the mid, they take the tier 3 tower in the mid even, they take the racks, and it just gets really hard to manage the lanes then.
Well, they're trying. Here we go. You got to try something. Queen of Pain, the Chronosphere lockdown. You see the minimal damage of that Shivas. He's taking up quite a bit. Lasso initiation. Hits Legion Commander. In comes the Mystic Flare. Spreading on multiple heroes. So the Sonic Wave turnaround. And LC staying in for 85 seconds. And in fact, they're just going to call it GG, well played. At this point, it was really a lost cause. And Kinguin will secure the victory in what is game number 1 of this best-of-3 third-place match. So, again, the game of the Anti-Mage especially, he just did not get addressed enough in the earlier parts, got completely out of hand, and this wasn't a team that was going to be friendly dealing with that in the later game. The lack of lockdown, the heavy reliancy on magic damage, especially with the build of the Faceless Void, I think were just kind of the key issues there for Effect overall. And although they played it well at points, man, again, they got picks on both the Queen of Pain and even the Anti-Mage throughout the game. They couldn't just seem to really work off of that enough to get the victory for themselves or look good really into the mid to late game at any point there. So, but that's it for game 1. Any final thoughts yourselves, Rob?
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up after the anti-mage fight where they found the pick-off in the Dire jungle. That they find this kill, but they can't move on to the objectives, and that's something that Effect suffered from. You know, they constantly had to be buying out for these items. They had no buybacks available. So if they lost a fight, which they did multiple times, then they put themselves at risk of losing their own objectives while not being able to follow up on anything afterwards. And it was just this, they were behind on the, needed to be catching up on the Pugna, needed to be catching up on the LC, because they got picked off so many times early game. And that's what you want when you have a Queen of Pain, when you have an anti-mage. You want to put the enemy on the back foot constantly, just so you can use the push-pull, the distractions, the split pushing, you know, find the kills with your 3 supports. And it was really effective from Kinguin, so I wouldn't be surprised if Effect put out the respect ban on the anti-mage or even the Queen of Pain next game.
We'll see. We'll see what Effect chooses to do. Definitely going to have to think about something, though, as Kinguin looking pretty strong as a team in that first game once again. So we are going to be going to the break here, guys, getting ready for game 2. Before we do, once again, if you type !SkinCoin in chat, you get information on the giveaway currently going on. As well as if you go to skincoin.org, you can check out the latest cryptocurrency on the esports market. That's skincoin.org. You can trade in your favorite Dota 2 and even CSGO skins. Check it out. All right, game number 2, Effect versus Kinguin. Third place match coming up, guys. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by RobnrollGaming. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.